Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It's Monday review time and 3 points to talk about. And 3 points on the road, more importantly. I did say Thursday in the match preview that hopefully come tonight I'd be able to sit here and talk about another good performance. And more importantly, 3 points. And it seems we got both. Obviously the important thing was the win. And it does seem that we rode our luck at times away to Accrington Stanley. Had to rely on our keeper plenty of times, Jack Bonham, who put in a man of the match performance. Also had to rely on our back four, Jack Tucker, Max Amar, Connor Ogilvie and Tom O'Connor to chuck their bodies on the line. Win tackles, win headers, make clearances, make interceptions and blocks. And then those in front of them did their jobs as well. Pressed from the front, it seems, worked really hard after a slightly iffy first half, and turned it around second period and got the job done, which was excellent to see. I had to follow it on social media. The clips from Matt Phipps, if you don't follow him on Twitter, is well worth a follow. Are really useful if you're not at games, because he gets them out pretty much within a couple of minutes of them happening, and it's a really good source of footage for the games and gives you a better idea of what's going on. So yeah, all in all, a good afternoon's work. Need to tip my hat, like plenty have done, to Andy Holt, the Accrington chairman. There was a tweet that went out from his football club just before lunchtime, I think, on Saturday, that said they appreciated that all Gills fans were making a huge effort to travel pretty much the length of the country to watch the game, and their reward was a free drink, hot or cold, including alcohol, at any of the kiosks around the ground. On production of your match ticket. So an excellent touch from a fellow who is an excellent chairman, very vocal on Twitter, probably alongside Dara McCanty, the most vocal football chairman we have on social media. Enjoyed reading his tweets, and round of applause, because I thought that was a superb touch and gratefully accepted, I imagine, by all 254 Gills fans that did travel. But in terms of the game itself, like I say, it looked like we had to ride our luck at times, but we started really well. We hit the post twice within about 30 seconds. Jack Tucker crashing a header against the post, and then in the same move, the ball bounced out to Mark Byrne and he hit it against the other upright via the aid of a deflection, I believe. But at the other end, they've hit the post 3 times as well. They've had 1 or 2 goals ruled out correctly, I would imagine, for offside, I think, or infringement. So, seems we weren't quite at our best for long periods of the game, but how many times have we sat here this season and said, that's a really good performance, we deserve more, just need a little bit more luck? Well, it seems things finally swung our way on Saturday, and I'm not going to sit here and make any apologies for it. We've been decent for most of the season. I've said that plenty of times, aside from Oxford, if you watch this channel on a regular basis. So we'll probably play better and not win games, but it's nice to see a performance full of grit and desire and determination and willingness to work for each other, and more importantly, willingness to work for the badge. And we got ourselves over the line any which way. And it's a result that now sees us sit only 4 points off the top 7. Make of that what you will. It depends, I suppose, whether your glass is half empty or half full. We're also above the likes of Lincoln City and Portsmouth, 2 teams that were tipped by plenty to be promotion contenders at the start of the campaign. So we're doing all right, I think, is the main thing. And I think Steve Evans was really proud of the players after getting into them at half time a little bit. And it was great to see Regan Charles Cook on the score sheet. I'd had him down to come out of the 11 on Thursday when I did the match preview, but he started. And seems that, like the Gills performance on the whole, he didn't really see enough of it in the right areas during the first period. But second half, he got himself into some really good positions, and the goal we scored is a really, really good goal. If you've seen it on Quest, or like I say, via Matt Phipps, some good passing down our left-hand side. Thought Brandon Hanlon again was really good in the build-up. Plays with his back to goal, drops deep, holds off the centre-back, and releases Tom O'Connor on the left, and then he's bright enough to get his head up and find Regan Charles Cook on the half turn, and it's a good spin from Regan, but he's still got plenty to do there. But from 20 yards out, it's a super finish into the far corner, and I think it's good reward for Regan, because he's not started many games this season. I think it says 4 in Monday's Medway Messenger clearly he's a young lad who's talented and probably wants to start more football matches, but I think his head's screwed on right. He works hard, comes across as a player that's willing to learn and understands when he's not in the team, even if he doesn't agree with things. And he got his just rewards at the weekend. A decent performance and a really, really smart goal to earn us all 3 points. I think Luke Cordell sums up pretty well with his final paragraph in his match report. Evans' side have played much better and lost this season, but they stuck to their task well on Saturday to bring the points home. I think that sums it up absolutely superbly. And it's not like it's a performance where we just went there and parked the bus. When we had the ball, we tried to do the right things with it. Like I say, we chucked bodies on the line when we were defending. We worked hard for each other out of possession. We've hit the post twice. We've got into some good areas. We scored the goal. I think Brandon Hanlon's hit the side netting. Mika Mandron had a header that went wide. So it's not like we've not created anything at all. And yeah, really good to be sat here talking about an away win. And I know Steve Evans has played it down a little bit in the local press, saying it doesn't matter where your points come from. But I think it's a monkey off the back a little bit of all the playing staff, and hopefully we can build on it and move forward for future away games. In terms of the match ratings, slightly surprised in a pleasant way that at Luke's ratings, because obviously he says we weren't at our best, but his match ratings were Jack Bonham man of the match 9. I've seen the saves he's made. He was absolutely phenomenal. He's getting better and better as the season goes on. Well deserving of a 4th league clean sheet of the season, I think. Back 4, Jack Tucker, Max Amer, Connor Ogilvie and Tom O'Connor all were given 8. In midfield, he gave the trio of Mark Byrne, Alfie Jones and Stuart O'Keefe 7 each. He gave Regan Charles Cook an 8, Brandon Hanlon 7 and Mika Mandron 6. I think Brandon at the moment, as I've already said plenty of times, one of those players, regardless whether he's getting into goal scoring positions or actually scoring goals himself, he's giving you 6, 7s and 8s every week in terms of work rate and discipline and application and willingness to chase lost causes. And I'm not ashamed to say that he's one of my favourite players in that Gillingham squad at the moment. And if he can start adding goals to his game, I think we've got one hell of a player at League One level. And we do have to remember again still that he's only 16, 17 games into his 2nd full season at this level. So yeah, all in all, really good afternoon's work. Discipline, I think, is probably one of the key words. Took our chance when it came along, and so pleased for the 254 Gills fans that have gone all the way up to Accrington after travelling all the way to Shrewsbury on Tuesday night and seeing us pegged back in a game that we probably should have won as well. So a good week on the road, 4 points from 6. I did a tweet at the start of that week before Peterborough and said what would be acceptable, and I think most people went for 4 to 6 points, which is what we've got. So all in all, a decent 7 days, sets us up nicely for this Saturday at home to Rotherham, which should be another decent game. Another ex-club of Steve Evans, who I think knows the chairman, etc. really well down there. And I think he said that Paul Warren was his fitness coach when he was in charge. So yeah, in terms of the game, I think that's pretty much everything summed up. One thing I do want to talk about before I let you all go tonight, and it's a slightly sad note, and it revolves around one of the Gills fans, Olly. You can find him on Twitter at OllyM07. Tweeted out Saturday after the game and said that, basically, long story short, is in the last couple of weeks, him and his wife had been going through it, and they'd lost baby twins, I think it was. And I know there's been a few people that have messaged them and spoken to them on Twitter, and I spoke to Olly myself and said, I don't know you properly, but I'm at the end of a message if you want to chat or to vent or anything, because you can't imagine what them two are going through. So thoughts are with Olly and his partner and his family at this very difficult time. And I know a few Gills fans are trying to set up a minute's applause this Saturday during the home game against Rotherham. I think it's minute 13, because I think it was the 13th of October when sadly they lost their 2 little ones. So if you can spread the word, that'd be excellent. Yeah, and I think it's a really nice touch by the Gills fans. I'm not sure if the club are actually getting involved themselves, but if they don't, I know plenty that have retweeted it this afternoon on my timeline. I keep seeing it pop up, which is great. And as I say to Olly and your partner and all your loved ones, we are thinking of you. We are a big Gills family. We do get on most of the time. And I know the club were great enough to tweet out on Saturday and dedicate the win to Olly and his family. Regan Charles Cook got in touch with him, I think. I saw that on my timeline. I know Jack Bonham, our goalkeeper, messaged him privately And I believe that Steve Evans took the time to text him Sunday morning. So maybe that's something to think about, Gills fans. But I'll leave it there. Like I say, best wishes to Ollie and all of his loved ones at the moment. We will be back Thursday for a match preview, hopefully myself and Boz, looking ahead to Rotherham, and then should be back Saturday, all three of us, hopefully, for a match day live against the same team. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me rabbit on. Glad it's another positive one. You know where we are. Comment down below on YouTube. You can get in touch. Come and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Come and say hi before games if you want to come on the vlog for a minute or so. And until next time, up the Gills.